Sit close to the hearth, child. The wind outside carries the breath of those who refuse to leave their final rest. My father's father spoke the warning clearly. He told of the Draugr, the ones who stay behind in the frozen earth. They do not rest. They walk the perimeter of their mounds, guarding the gold and iron they took into the soil. They are of heavy frame and silent step. Once they were men, but the earth has changed them into something enduring. If you hear the heavy thud of a footfall near a stone marker, do not look back. They are watching. The earth does not forget a warrior's greed. When they took silver into the grave, they invited a restless spirit to guard it. They remained bound to the soil, their strength fueled by the very wealth they were sworn to protect from those who would covet it. The Draugr is not a ghost of spirit alone. It is a heavy, rotting weight in the earth that refuses to rest. Listen, when the air grows thick with the scent of old peat and stagnant water, you are standing upon a guarded treasury. Step no closer to the stones. To disturb their hoard is to invite the guardian's heavy hand upon your own neck. They did not simply pass into the earth and sleep. Some were bound by their own pride, becoming the Draugr, heavy with the weight of their gold and tethered to the mound's soil. You must see the stones they placed upon their chests. These were not symbols. They were weights intended to hold a restless spirit deep within the earth, pinning it against the dark soil. A Draugr does not walk like a man of the living. It moves with a heavy, deliberate power, its limbs swollen from the rot, and its grip as unyielding as the iron in its belt. The pride of the highborn gave them strength in death. They still guard the treasures of their youth, and any hand that reaches for those coins will feel their cold, dead fingers close tight. If you hear the dragging of a heavy cloak or see the mist curl thick around the mound's base, turn back. The guardian has heard your heartbeat, and it does not welcome your presence. When my grandfather saw a man approach the mound tonight, he did not call out. He knew that a grave kept for centuries holds a spirit that remains physically bound to its gold. This guardian is not a ghost of the mind. It is a heavy, rotting thing that walks the peat and moves with a strength born of old iron and deep, unyielding hatred for intruders. They chose to lay certain warriors face down, pinning their limbs with heavy stones, because they knew the Draugr would not rest. They fed its hunger for the world by binding it beneath the earth. Listen, the ground does not just shift from the wind. It moves because something beneath the roots is heaving. A heavy body shifts in the soil as it guards what was promised to it. If you see a shadow move against the moon where no tree stands, do not speak. The Draugr hears your breath, and it will claim your life as tribute to its ancient heavy hoard. They did not place stones across the chest to keep the body still for your comfort, little one. They laid them there to bind the spirit's reaching limbs and heavy grasping hands. A man who fought with fury in life becomes a Draugr of terrible strength in death. If the stones are moved, his wrought-heavy grip will seize your wrist and pull you down. Look closely at the earth where he lies. The swelling of his flesh is not a sign of life, but the weight of the grave pressing against the burial cloth and old leather. He remains behind those heavy stones because he is bound to his gold. To take a single coin from his reach is to invite his shadow to walk beside you forever. If you see his gray-blue skin rising through the dirt or hear a groan beneath the stones, turn your back and run. He is waiting for someone to break the seal of his peace.
Moving into modern archaeological analysis, we shift from folklore to material reality. Experts study Viking Age burial practices between 800 and 1050 AD to understand how the dead were managed within the landscape, moving beyond myths of supernatural guardians toward documented physical evidence. While Draugr sagas describe supernatural beings, physical evidence focuses on the construction of memorial monuments. Over 6,000 runestones were erected across Scandinavia during this era, serving as primary tools for memorializing the deceased and proclaiming personal status or religious conviction. These stones recorded a profound cultural transition. Between the years 850, memorial carvings began to display a mix of traditional pagan symbols and emerging Christian icons, such as crosses, reflecting the complex shift in spiritual belief during the advancement of Northern Christianity. Because contemporaneous written records were nearly non-existent for common folk and rulers alike, these stones became the primary vehicle for identity. They are the sole reason we can identify figures such as Queen Thyra or King Gorm within the historical narrative of Denmark. Modern scholarship uses these specific runic inscriptions to piece together the roles of early figures during the formation of national identities. Without these physical markers, our understanding of the leadership and socio-political structure of the Viking Age would remain almost entirely obscured by time.